We did Friendsgiving.
And Liz, I put a finger on the board. We have 19 families photos out. Well, Amanda's gonna take over. Talk to Amanda. There you go. It's okay. And I'll just give that to her, you know, get to know the thing. And good. So hopefully that knocks something out. We'll have to give everybody out for the holidays.
Probably, yeah, no.
Do you know trouble, Jeff? I think let's wait and see.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hey, right?
Once you get some votes, or some last night,
Oh, see, now I'm thinking like Alpine. I'll probably have to cholesterol.
Do we have any TV today?
We don't do it live.
That wasn't with her, I saw that was last week, but it was somebody else.
Go get my flight.
I love her music. She's my, that's kind of, the Eagles are my favorite. It's one of my favorite songs. It's my favorite one ever.
I did, but I was like, I didn't know. It's like, whatever, I didn't know they were in school. We don't really know.
Well, let's go get
I felt the love was just like, hey, what's this?
Did you get lost coming down here?
I ain't never lost.
What did I tell you, man?
I didn't have to drive.
Okay, but watch out for the whole get a food sharing for him.
Huh?
Food sharing for.
USA?
That's
the American flag.
I know what it is, but you know you're going to get up.
And then do you have to tell them?
Let's go and get started. What a beautiful day. Again, I want to start off this morning talking about these wonderful families to adopt. And I will start off with that. I want to focus on that. So, Arthurine, why don't you show it for just 1 minute?
All right, great. Thank you, Jim. All right, so we had, does everybody know who I am? Let me be respectful. My name is Arthurine. I've been in this office forever. I'm one of the PC coaches. I'm also on the cultural committee. Is that right? Okay.
She is culture.
All right.
Culture ambassador.
Yes, I think that. Okay, so what was Friday? There's a name for it.
Shopping Friday, Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Okay, what was yesterday?
Cyber Monday.
And what is today?
USA. USA.
Giving
Oh,
Tuesday.
you're home.
It's not travel Tuesday as well.
It's so good.
So I heard
also
the
Travel
answer over
Tuesday.
here first. It's Giving Tuesday. So this is for you. 50 for your future, and this is from the road, right? This is courtesy of Reed, I don't see you. So I am given before I ask. See that? You give and you receive, right? So here's the thing, in all seriousness. We have 19 families left. We have 19 families who are without, in all seriousness. And we really need your help. So if you guys don't want to shop, just go ahead and stroke me a check, take it out to Keller Williams, and the staff will shop for us. I'm gonna pass this book around, and I would like you guys to please adopt a family, get together with another agent. Most of these are so minute, though, it's like gift cards, clothes, some toys, whatever. And thank you to all the agents who've already wrapped their gifts and dropped them off at the front desk. We want them all back by the 8th.
If they're not wrapped, we need them back by the 8th so we can wrap them for you.
Because we're actually gonna take them to the schools. We got 3 schools, East Cobb Middle, Smitha,
And Cityside took Campbell for us.
and so just 2
Just 2
now.
for us, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm gonna pass this around. And if you're new to our office and you're not familiar with what we do this every Christmas. Thank you so very much. I thank you and the
Please,
families,
since
thank
that's-
you.
there a
we-
pen
so
in
we can
there?
keep track of who has them, just write your name on the sheet you want, and then Billy will make a copy and give it to you. And
Take
that
a
way, as
picture
they
of it.
come back in, we can check to make sure we've got all the students back.
Thank you. All right,
But
and
these are not expensive things. Some kids just want like a gift card to Starbucks. I mean, they're not big asks. Some of them do have maybe 4 kids in the family, so you might partner with somebody else, or if you've got a team, we'd love you to do that too. But please, I know we all had a tough year, so imagine how hard it was for those who didn't have the opportunities that we had. And if we can make a difference, it would really.
I promise you, not one child will go.
no.
It happened before.
No, it
It
has
will
not
happen.
yet.
won't happen this time. Not one child will go without.
Thank y'all for your, and you can drop off cash too to Billy, cash or checks to Billy, and we'll shop for you. Thank you.
Hey guys, someone tell me your favorite memory from Thanksgiving this year, if you went away, or maybe you loved that you don't have to be in my house and it's quiet. So what's your favorite memory for this year for Thanksgiving? Turkey trot.
Well, it was actually, my favorite memory was, it was a turkey trot, but I have a 5-year-old grandson. He was bound and determined he was gonna do it, which he could do it easily. But about 2 blocks in, he decided he wanted to ride. So I got to carry my 40-pound grandson on my shoulders for 2.5 miles.
Good for you.
And my favorite memory is I made it. Now, I might tell you how sore I was the next day, but it was cool. It was a good experience. We had a blast.
I love that, that's a great memory. Who else got a great memory? Yes, ma'am, Liz.
I learned this year that the mill in Roswell has a full Thanksgiving buffet. You don't have to cook. It's delicious, so you should check it out sometime.
I love that. Who else?
Well, I kind of celebrate Thanksgiving with 80,000 people, fans,
Good.
Brazil-Serbia game. It was amazing. But of course, fellow US fans right there, like, oh, happy Thanksgiving. But it's great. Of course, with my son, I spent the night as well.
We watched the pictures and the videos.
Who else got a great memory from Thanksgiving?
My 92-year-old mom being in the kitchen, and we're like, oh, sit down, she's around. So she had cooked at her place all day, all morning, and then when she came over in the evening, she still wanted to do some stuff. So I'm just so grateful just looking at her. She's 92, and we still have. That was my favorite.
I love it, and that she's 92, can still take care of herself.
Yep.
And, and still do all that on her own, and that's amazing, that's just amazing, okay? Jeffrey,
Yes, sir. I actually have 2.
all right, of course,
One of them,
I have 3 for Jeff.
one of them is, Tim and I got to give away 127 pies on Tuesday.
Wow.
To customers and referral partners, and we so appreciate everybody here. Customers who refer us. That's definitely one of my favorite, if not my most favorite day of the year, my most favorite work day of the year. We need to say thank you that many times. Then, we heard John Maxwell define what he considered success. And so we had 20 people over to our house for Thanksgiving. And the fact that they all showed up, I shared with them his definition of success. And do you remember that?
I do.
Remember that basically, he defines success, and I think it's a great definition that the people that he loves and respects the most, love and respect him.
That's success. Who else has something we'll share about from Thanksgiving? Yes, ma'am.
So as most of you know, I am from Poland, so
What?
Thanksgiving is not celebrated in Poland, but it's something I adopted when I moved here. And this year, for the first time, all 3 of my kids participated. We only had to bring 4 meals to a gathering, but they all wanted to have a part of it.
Wow.
And they wanted to do something traditional. well, something that's kid-friendly too. But it was very, very nice to see that my kids wanted to take part of it and learn about why we do Thanksgiving and talk about what they learned at school, you know, how we celebrated in my husband's family. Of course, my husband's hands off, but I'm happy that my kids were in the kitchen.
What a lovely new tradition, isn't it? Okay, who else? Anybody else? Yes, sir, Rob.
So I have my in-laws, they moved here in July, and we had 24 people at the house, and it was their first time being with a huge family, and especially a huge Italian family, which is very loud. But they really felt, you know, awesome being around everybody. My father-in-law did take his hearing aids out halfway through because they were too loud. But it was awesome to see them and be a part of everything. They'd never experienced that before. So, cool.
Anybody else? Some of my grandsons and our family, we went down to the beach on Thanksgiving. And I loved going out at night, out with the golf cart and my twins were on their bicycles and they had those lighted shoes. And so we went around the resort, they were shooting up and they were so happy riding their bikes. And when I was a kid, riding my bike on my family, I loved everybody. So to be able to share that with them was good time. So anyway, guys, an amazing time of life to thank you for. Anybody else want to share before we move on? Good morning. Good morning. You guys want to share before we move on? All right, but our partners, Carrie, where are you, girl? There you are. Come on up.
Hey everyone, Carrie with Thomas and Brown. I'm moving a little slow. I decorated 4 of our offices yesterday. I can only lift so many Christmas trees. And when I say that, I had to get like 2 new ones, you know, so the boxes are heavy. I'm not a total wuss, but anyway. But happy belated Thanksgiving to y'all. We have a contracts class coming up, which everybody's gonna need because that's the contract changes for 2023. It's on December the 8th from 1:30 to 4:30, right at the end. So we hope to see y'all here, and do RSVP because we're gonna have snacks on the break since it's kind of the middle of the afternoon. It's not really a lunch class, but anyway, we will have that. I look forward to seeing y'all at the holiday party as well as everyone going to that.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Good, it's a fun place. We did our T&D event there last year and it was really fun
And it was
for our,
fun?
for our staff, it was fun. So anyway, thank you guys as always. And we did, I know some of y'all know this because you post there, but we did join the KW West Cab office as well. So if y'all have any West Cab closings, we can do those over there for you. The building's under renovation, they're almost done, but we've been using their training room, just kind of, you know, set up like this. So we can do that there. So
When is lawn surgery?
oh, it was yesterday.
And?
And so, yeah, he had to have another shoulder surgery. I know, bless his heart. I'm like, can we just replace this part of your body? But they reconnected the tissue again, so he's doing well. But I talked to his wife Kelly yesterday, and she said he's doing well. He's kind of grumpy, and then we kind of laughed. We're like, well, that was kind of pre-surgery. But he's going to be out honestly for about probably 2 weeks. He really can't move it, or else he's gonna have to just keep going through this. So thank y'all for the ones of you that did know and check. I know our sweet line, Mr. Thomas. We got to get him ready to sign closing docs, right? And it's his right hand too, which is the worst thing.
And of course, it had nothing to do with his playing football over the years.
Right, or golf, or whatever,
golf.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What about soccer?
Or yeah, or tell us to do that.
2 p.m.
Just use your legs instead. Thank you guys very much.
Are you up?
I guess it's me. I was mistaken. I thought it was Jeff's day today, but he so kindly let me go. Hey guys, how are ya? Hey, you know, Lon told me a couple of weeks ago, he said that the surgeon told him, said if this works, you're gonna need to lock yourself in your basement for about 6 weeks and not do one thing at all. So
Yeah, and he already let us know that was not happening.
tell you what, I hope he takes it easy. So a couple things that I wanted to share with you guys. First of all, obviously letting you know the upward ascent of rates, interest rates seems to have leveled off. We're not, you know, we're down more into the 6s now. So, you know, crazy we're rejoicing about the 6s, right? But I will say this, I want to make a suggestion to you guys. And let me think about this question. Did you have clients that in the fall, when rates made that big jump, either buyers or sellers who said, oh, like a seller would have said, well, I can't sell now because I'm not gonna go give up my 3.5 interest rate to go into a 7% interest rate. I'm gonna wait. Or a buyer who said, oh man, I'm not dealing with a 7% interest rate, I'm gonna wait. What I would suggest is let's begin to tee those people up. Let's begin to prepare those people for what the experts say is gonna happen sometime in this, hopefully in the late spring, early summer, sometime next year. If the experts are right, rates are gonna come back down into the 5s. Now, for us, we go, well, it's still the 5s. Yeah, but think about what it sounds like to that person who wanted to buy or needed to sell. And man, 5 sounds great, right? 5.25 sounds wonderful. They're thinking, well, I couldn't stomach 7, but I can handle 5.25. I would say, reach out to those people, tell them what the experts are saying, and say, why don't we get you ready so that when that time comes, you can pull the trigger immediately. Like, for example, if there's a seller, this is a great time to go ahead, take the next couple of months and begin to do those things that they need to do to their house so that when the rates drop, they can pull the trigger and you can get that listing and get their house sold and move on. So just wanted to offer that suggestion to you. If you guys want an article maybe from a mortgage industry expert, I'm not talking about me, that talks about what rates, the anticipation for rates, I'll be happy to find that for you. You can use that as a piece to share with your client. So just a little thought to get some business teed up for next year. Cool. Any questions? Great. You guys have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Let us move on and see what jewels we have here. Please welcome the closing company. How long have you been with us, Kim? How many years, Kim?
How many years what? Oh, well, really since I started, so 17.
Let's give her a hand, guys, for 17 years. Come support this off. We love the closing company.
Thank you, and we love you guys, and I want to say thank you today to all of the awesome agents here that we worked with this year. Jill Harris, Karen Sharpless, Kelly Allen and her team, Gabe Levy, Christopher Worth, Gina Forbes, Joanna Smith, Stephanie Omanuker, Katie Wilgore, Liz Doherty, Mary McMath, Dina Wilkins, Morgan Hicks, Suzanne Chapin, Marlon Curo, Shirley Gerard, Anya Sierdzynska, Lori Greenwald, Daisha Mayfield, Jody Grace, Julianne Rivera, Taylor Ingram, Allison Gale, Kenna Dawes, and Sarah Bosnack. I mean, that's awesome support from you guys. We so appreciate it. And I also just want to say thank you to the staff here. This place is really special. I mean, we've gotten support from Jim, we've gotten support from Arthur Ring. Kim's always helping me out. Kimberly's always helping me out when I'm here trying to get ready to teach Ignite. And the MCAs, you know, are helping us out getting our pay at closes done. And one of the things that I've noticed about this office is that there's a really amazing energy here. And this is unique because many of the top agents here are still fully engaged with the office. They come in, you can learn for them, and that's different than a lot of other places. And I just want to say thank you to you guys. We're grateful to be a part of the team here. We're here to support you. I don't know if you guys have dusted this off lately, Shift. This is a great book, and I learned just about everything I know about business from Keller Williams and from Gary Keller. And one of the things he talks about in here is leading with revenue. And so you can really lead with revenue when you use the closing company for your contract to close, because you don't pay us until the contract closes. And if it falls through, you don't owe any money. So we're here to help you whenever you need us, just onesie twosies, or if you've got a client who is wearing you slap out, send it over to us. Let them wear us out instead. So we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Did I miss it? Did you tell me what you do?
I'm sorry. I assume people know what we do. So we do contract to close. We're like an assistant for hire. So let's say, you know, you get really busy. You've got one contract going for the month. You're like, I'm cool, I can handle one contract. But then you get the second one. Sometimes that's when things can start to fall through the cracks. And what you can do with us is you can literally just toss that contract over to us. We're going to grab it. We're going to run with it. And we're going to make sure that everything is happening. We'll send it to the contract to the lender, to the attorney. We're following up on deadlines on the contract. We'll order the home inspection for you. Just basically make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Everything's handled so you look like a rock star at the closing. And what's nice about it is you don't have to have somebody you don't have to hire and train somebody and have that person on your payroll. You can only have an assistant when you need one. So, thank you, Jim. It's really sad when a person doesn't mention what they do to talk to a big group of people.
All right, so who in here, they right here, would call themselves a detailed person? Hold your hands up high and see it. Right, Alex, hold your hands up high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? The rest of us are what? Not detailed. So you have this thing under contract and you forget an important date. What happens?
The client could lose their earnest money.
What can happen?
Your client could lose their earnest money.
Exactly right. So guys, this lady, even though, give them an idea of your cost, just so they'll know.
We charge $4.15. You pay when it closes, and like I said, if it doesn't close, we don't earn money. And if it's a cash transaction, we charge $200.
Guys, that money will save you money because you folks know the stuff and not worry about, oops, I forgot the. Any suggestions on when they should start using you? You should always do your first one by yourself. You know how to do it. I get that, okay? But when should they start using you? What's your general
that
rule?
varies from agent to agent. Some folks like to use us when they're brand new because you don't know what you don't know. So it's like having somebody, it's almost like having a mentor walk with you through the transaction, and you can actually see the questions that we ask, you can see what we're doing, and you can know how to manage the transaction. And then other folks, they might use us like, hey, I've got one transaction for the month, I'm fine, but when they get that second, when they're starting to do 2 transactions a month, that's when things can start to fall through the cracks. And that's when, and really, even if nothing's falling through the cracks, what can happen is when I'm doing a lot of deals, what I'm not doing typically is lead generating and trying to get more deals. So it can start to look like, oh, I'm super busy, yay. Oh, those deals are closing. Oh my gosh, I have nothing in the pipeline. And this is how your production or your commissions are going. So, some people, when they hire us, if they use that time to generate more leads, they have more consistent income, and it's not, such an up and down thing. So,
Guys, if you use them, it'll help you out, be more organized. If you don't use them and you lose one deal, it would have been better to use them for all your deals. Because that one deal that you lose the client forever. And knows how much you have. So if they do it well, they do it very, very well.
And we're here to keep you out of check jail.
Let's give her a hand roll. Thank you for breakfast also. Thank you. All right. Y4C2Ts. Let me see, who am I asked this morning? Amanda Warren. Which one is your favorite one this morning? I don't remember who I asked last guy, so I hope it wasn't her.
I like integrity.
All right, tell me why you picked that one.
It just felt like the right thing to do. I think that's why I like Keller Williams and I like our office so much, is because we are who we say we are as a whole. And it's important in my business that I don't change who I am, or compromise on my values, with my clients, and I like to go to sleep at night.
Integrity is one of my favorite ones, because once you lose integrity, guys, it's not impossible to get it back, but it sort of makes it very difficult to get back once you lose it, particularly with your clients. So I love the integrity one. Thank you for picking that one this morning. Group coaching and command smart plans. Wednesday, November the 30th, with Kevin Jackson. Guys, I will keep telling you this. If you're not using Command right now, guys, you're leaving money on the table, because you're already paying for it through your technology fee, guys. So if you're not using it, get with Kevin. He is the dearest, most just gentle. You can't ask him a dumb question, guys, and it's free for you. Please come doing this. Group coaching, command smart plans. The smart plans, if you put, matter of fact, guys, if you put at least 201 contacts in, I'm in command, and have a smart plan for that, it will bring you additional, or at least put you in that $120,000 category. How many of you would love to be making a GCI of at least $120,000? Great, guys. Anyway, the Code of Ethics course, guys, you have to have this. It's only $21 per person, 3 hours of C credit, taught by Kathy Wood. She knows it very, very well. So, guys, that's this Thursday, December 1st, and it's only on Zoom. You have to have this when you renew your license, right, Kimberly? All right, thank you, Kimberly. Command happy, guys. I can see this. I wish you're my line. whatever we get. Command happy hours coming up Thursday with Kevin Jackson. Guys, get on there, ask him dumb questions. Say, Kevin, I've never got on command before. What do I need to do to get started? Oh, Kevin, command does not work for me. Well, tell him whatever you want to ask him. Get on there. A lot of times there's only 1 or 2 people on this call, so if you jump on, it may just be you and Kevin. So do that. That's Thursday from 5 to 6, and you can have your favorite beverage. Ignite. Guys, this is something that we do so well. These people up here are fabulous. They're all great agents. They all do this well. So guys, Ignite, we have 7 in the class. 7 in the Ignite class. Guys, 8 in the class. Rob, what do you want to say about Ignite?
So I think the perfect example is yesterday on the Rawls Group Facebook page, an agent in another office posted on there, hey, I have to have my 25 hours of post licensing by today. Okay?
Oh.
So, ouch. So everyone, the 8 that are in there, I mean, it might seem like a drag when you're going through it and everything. It's invaluable, and it's something that we do as an office and as the Rawls Group to help you not only learn to start your business, that's why it's called Ignite, to kick it off. And one thing I'll say is you're going to hear from, 10 instructors that we're going to have? So 12 instructors that each have done a good amount of business. You're going to hear ideas from 12 different people. All you have to do is pick one, right? And just become an expert at it and move on from there. But you have the resources of top agents teaching you. You can't get that.
Hey guys, if you are an agent that's been in business for 2 or 3, 4 years, 5 years, 20 years, whatever, you're thinking, you know something? I might want to come in and sit in on selling your listing class with Liz Koenig, been in his office much longer than I've been here, or jump in and close the deal, or jump into just whichever one you want to jump into with price to sell. Just pick one, guys, and jump in because it will help you with the business. It's not just for new agents, it's for anyone that wants to move their business to the next level. Thank you for setting that up. Okay, White Elephant, guys, this is one of the most fun things that we do. It's now, we've been doing, I think, for 10 years, but December 13th, 11 a.m. is following the team meeting. Bring an unuseful, fun, or strange or rat gift and wear your best ugly sweater. I've got one already done that I've got to wear next week, guys. But we come and we have a White Elephant gifts exchange. It's so much fun because you will get something that you'll, oh, that was really pretty cool. So, guys, that is next week. Bring a gift that you either got for Christmas, and don't bring something that's 10 years old that you've used for all that time. Bring something that you got from your mother-in-law or from your sister-in-law or from your children, and bring it and wrap it and put it in there, and you may pick up something that you really like. It's a fun time. Next week, I'm after the team meeting. You guys, we're so excited about this. We've done Gene Rawls' house multiple times. We've done, of course, the Botanical Garden several times, and we're going to do the Punch Bowl Social, which is a fabulous place, and there's good parking. It's at Truist Park. So, guys, please come and do that. It's on December 9th, 6 to 9. No children, please. And you can come by yourself, or you can come with a date, or bring your spouse or your significant other, and just come and be with us. It's going to be a fun party that night. And it's our treat for you all. Lessons learned, Rob.
So last week was a short week. Lessons learned. So here's, this isn't about a deal or anything else. So I said to Jim yesterday, I said, what an opportunity that we all have. If you look at all the agents across the planet, right? And you look at the top 20% of agents. A lot of agents have locked out. Holidays are here, right? And they're giving themselves excuses. I can take more time off and do this and that. I said to Jim, I said, I'll bet you 80% of the people are, just mailing it in through the end of the year. And he goes, might be nice. Right. And so what we see around our office is those people that actually show up, engage on a daily basis, in these offices, in these rooms, it's amazing, right? And if you're a newer agent, you cannot be in a better place to be around people that are actually doing deals, talking about what they're doing for lead generation, what they're doing to make their business better. I mean, there's so many people in here that would be happy to share with you how you can really ramp up your business. If you work hard over the next 30 days, right? What is going to happen in March? You know, the average time it takes to get someone from thinking about it to thinking about rates, thinking about their house, and thinking is about 90 days. So give yourself a future gift, right? By really leaning in and talking to people. People need to hear from us now, right? I said this morning on a call I was on at 7:30, that we might be going into a recession, or I don't want to put labels on anything, right? And Jim asked me yesterday, so what do you think about a recession? What are you gonna do? I'm gonna get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, do what I do every morning. I'm gonna be here at 7. I'm just gonna go to work. I don't care what the label is, I'm still gonna go to work. But I think a lot of people are not stopping, right? The media wants you to think that everything's gonna stop. It's not stopping. I look at it like the traffic light. A red signal is a stop, but then you get to go, right? A dead end sign is a full stop. So whether they're on a yellow light or a green light or just slowing down for a stoplight, things are gonna keep going, right? And people's personal situations change in a heartbeat, okay? Over the holidays, I got some stuff that it's gonna be changing in our family, right? Was not on the plan, was not what I was thinking, was not my goal, right? We're having to pivot, right? So someone tells you we're gonna do something in 6 months or a year, you gotta follow up with them, because life doesn't stop, right? So that's the lesson I learned. And welcome home. I enjoyed hearing about the World Cup and your trip to Qatar, and I think that's awesome.
It's awesome. Happiness. You see happiness everywhere.
Yeah, that what we had posts of all the food and everything on, you know. So I can't wait to talk to them.
So guys, I spent the last month talking about this market because there's a lot of misconceptions out there. But I want to start this morning with a word, and the word is recession. Somebody tell me what their understanding is in a recession. What's your understanding? Does anybody know what a recession is?
When the gross national product's negative for.
Say it again.
Oh, I probably wouldn't say it right. 2 consecutive quarters of lower GDP.
GDP, okay, all right, okay. All right, so have we had that?
It's been.
Will we have that?
It's been a slight dip.
That's right, yes, okay. Do you want the number one thing that, the number one thing that causes a recession? Number one. This is from Bob Red.
Unemployment.
Say it again?
Jobs.
Jobs, okay, all right, that's a good one, okay, that's not it. But that's what I've heard, okay? Number one.
Consumer spending.
Say it again?
Consumer spending.
Inflation.
Okay, all right, inflation, you're all that, okay?
Consumer spending.
Oh, yes, 100%. What else?
Related to inflation.
Okay, all right, that's not it, believe it or not. I've heard this several times.
Interest rates.
Interest rates, I've heard that also, okay. What else? Anybody?
Fear.
Fear is probably the closest answer. It's the way we think.
The media.
It's the way we think. That is the number one thing that happens in a recession. We go, oh my God, we're in a recession, we're gonna die. How long do most recessions last? I told you this several times. Average recession lasts how long?
9 months.
18 months?
6 months.
Close, 8 months. Most recessions last 8 months. They last 8 months, guys, and it's what is up here. I'm in a recession. Are the people out there during a recession that make millions?
Yes.
Okay? Are the people out there that do well in a recession?
Sure.
Sure. Some of the people got the wealthiest in real estate in 2008, 9, and 10. Why is that true?
Because they listened to Jim Alexander.
What?
Because they listened to Jim, who said every week you need to be buying houses.
I did say that every week. I did every week.
And we didn't listen.
So guys, just realize that I mean, because I wish I were smart enough and knew all this stuff, and I was an economist, but I am not an economist. Remember, I was a middle school math teacher. That's as far as I could go with math. You guys, the recession has a lot to do with what we're thinking up here right now. It's what we're thinking here right now. So guys, are we in a recession? I don't know. We're gonna go in next year. I don't know the answer to that question. Who thinks we're in a recession right now? Put your hand up. 1, 2, 3. Who thinks we're headed towards recession? 4. Who thinks we're headed toward a recession next year? Greg? You're not Greg. Who thinks we're headed toward a recession next year? Who doesn't want to think about it? All right. Can I give you one of my favorite sayings? Could I also say, frankly, my dear, I don't give a
Damn.
dang. I don't cuss. Except I did call my
It's
friends.
worth cussing.
Huh?
That was worth cussing.
So guys, so as we go into 2023, this year fly by.
Yeah.
Where should our focus be going into 20 and 23? Where should it be in going into 2023? And I want to start with Christy. Christy, where's your focus going to be for 2023?
Listings.
You have to speak up, everybody can hear you, okay?
Listings.
Listen, okay? Why that?
Because hopefully that will drive additional either listings and buyers, and you have a little more control, hopefully. Because with some of these buyers just sitting on the fence, that makes it harder for me to push.
Okay, all right, so you're gonna focus on listings.
Yes.
Anything you're gonna change to where you can get more listings? You do something differently?
Oh, I signed up for 72 sold, if anybody else hasn't already signed up.
All right, guys, if you don't know about 72 sold, you should look into that. Now, it is expensive, but if what they say is gonna happen, it is worth every penny of it.
Well, you don't have to do the ad buys. That takes some of your expense down if you don't want to do that. You can do your own social media pushes and do your own ads.
Okay. Gary Keller owns, how much of this company? You might know? 48%? 49%?
He's not the controlling owner.
Okay, great. And Gary Keller believes in this. Who thinks Gary's one of the smartest, most well-read guru of the real estate market in the country right now? Who thinks that? Everyone's hands should go up. If you've not been with Gary Keller before, he is, I call him Steve Jobs for real estate. You agree with that?
I do.
Tell me why.
I was trying to get my jury on, okay?
Okay, it's your jury. Yeah, but anyway, but he is the smartest guy. For the last 7 years, he's been saying, guess what, the shift's coming. He was finally
No,
right.
it's here.
And it finally happened.
Yes.
He finally, after 8 years, he got it right, guys. So Gary Keller cannot predict a shift. And guys, he understands the economy, he understands the real estate market, he talks to successful agents around the country and our company and other companies every single day. He'll call and say, hey, I've heard about you, Gary Keller. Tell me about your business. Be quiet. So I'm doing that right now in my business. I'm calling other agents, other companies, saying, tell me what you're hearing out there, guys. And so guys, if he cannot predict this recession, I don't think anybody else can. He can't predict what's going to the market next year. So, you know what Gary Keller said about the market in the next couple of years? Buckle up. It's going to be a tough couple of years, I'm going. Really? So, guys, where should our focus be? Listings. Okay, I love that. Okay, where else should our focus be right now? 72 sold. You may want to Google that. Okay, where else should Margie, what are you focusing on for the next few months?
My people.
I want to ask y'all to stand up and speak up because I can't hear very well either. Can't see, can't hear.
Yes, so focus on my people, because what's really come to light the last quarter is life events, divorce, death, growing families. My last several closings have been people that have to sell, have to move, and so just keeping those relationships. A lot of them came from, you know, a recent event that I had where I invited people for a bingo game and gave away prizes, and just touching some of those people. All of a sudden, I became top of mind, and referrals came in, and people moving from Florida to come here. It re-tapped into an agent referral partner that I have in Florida. So really just focusing on my people.
Is that, can I use a different word?
Sure.
Database?
Yeah, my
Database, how do you say, is it database or database?
Database.
Database.
And I
database.
realized with agents, you know, sometimes you get a referral from an agent and then you just leave it at that. But treating the referral agent partners, which I know Chris Van Zandt does too, I don't know if you.
Chris Van Zandt does that well.
Yeah, keeps that relationship going, because most likely there's a route coming from that area. And I know there's someplace in Command where you can also go in and see where most people are moving from Atlanta from. I can't remember how you do it, and start to make partners with those agents in those other cities so that you can be their trusted resource here. So yeah, that's my piece.
I love that. And before you sit down, tell us about your event and how well it went. Tell us what you did.
So I did an online bingo event. And what I did was I invited everybody, and we were giving away prizes. So we did a green egg, a Yeti cooler.
Did you have some partners do this with you?
Did who?
Did you have some partners do this with you?
Yes, I had 2 attorneys, 2 lenders, an inspector. And so I didn't really have to spend much money. I spent money on some things, I didn't have to spend too much money, and we all came together. And it was really fun. We had a Halloween theme, and some people on the video had their Halloween costume on. And we were here in the office, and we did a bingo game. We had a bingo ball and everything, and 81 people registered. And even though 81 people registered, only about 20 or so showed up. But it's the whole thing of having the communication with people that were calling about it. It was on a Saturday, so some of them just forgot to show up and couldn't believe that they didn't, you know. But it just created this whole thing, and I created a smart plan around it where for 2 weeks, people were getting like an email and a text just once a week, letting them know 2 weeks away, 1 week away, today's the day, and it was all just set up. And so just them getting those text messages, I believe, is where some of those referrals came from, because I did get, I think, 5 listing appointments from it.
All right, so one more touch, how many?
5.
And what did this cost you about? Cost you personally?
Personally, maybe a couple hundred.
Good idea, guys? Because she focused on her what?
Database.
Database, that's right. All right, I've got listings and I've got database. Oh, what did Money Magazine say just a few months ago about the state of Georgia? Number one place to live in the United States. And what did Clark Howard say about what Money Magazine said? Anybody here that doesn't know who Clark Howard, don't hold your hand up. Clark Howard is like one of the most respected gurus about lots of stuff in Atlanta, Georgia. What did he say about it?
One of the most known, maybe not well respected.
Okay, I respect him greatly. But anyway, so he said, I think Atlanta will do well in the next 12, 18 months because of this and low unemployment, and I think we will not suffer a great downturn, basically what he said. So should we trust Clark Howard as one of our trusted advisors? Well, maybe not, but he certainly is well read. He's a very bright guy, and I mean, very successful, very, very, very successful. Okay, all right, so we've got listing, we've got database of people. What else should we be focusing on right now?
Mine's more around educating. I think, most of us, including our clients, look at national news and extrapolate that as local news. So I was dealing with a client yesterday, and she's like, well, with the high unemployment and the economic data, and I said, well, nationally it's 3.9, which still isn't bad, but Atlanta's 2.9. So just helping them understand what's happening in our market versus other markets. I mean, if you're on the West Coast, that's definitely a shift. But I'm not feeling that much of a shift locally, and that's why I think some of those things, when we talk about shift and things like that, there's micro markets. So my focus is to understand the Atlanta metro financial and housing market in depth and detail. So that when I am on listing appointments or buyer's appointments, I can help guide them through it.
Okay, so what, all right, guys, do you people that like to sort of read the news and see what's going on out there, particularly around the country, what are you hearing about the real estate market in the next couple of years? Tell me one thing you're hearing out there. What do you think is true or not? Tell me one thing you're hearing about there. Right now. What are you hearing?
Prices are gonna drop.
Say it one more time.
Prices are gonna drop.
Exactly right. Prices are gonna drop. Get ready, prices are gonna go down. Did they give you any estimation what it's gonna be like?
No.
The price is gonna drop. You're a seller, guess what? You may overpay for your house. Okay, price is gonna drop. That probably is the number one thing I hear, because every day someone comes and says, well, I worked with a buyer, and they said, I'm gonna buy until the prices drop. How long are they gonna be waiting? Huh?
A long time.
A long time for the price to drop in Atlanta,
That's for
Georgia.
those people who like living in tents, though.
Say that again.
That's for people who like living in tents.
Yeah.
You know, or don't have any of the Ds that somebody was talking about. The divorce, the death,
Exactly.
the loss of job that doesn't start with a D. You know, and all of those life things that are gonna happen, you know, maybe they can wait till prices drop. I don't think so. I mean, Ed Morgan has said for a zillion years, we haven't started living in tents yet. And I believe that. I mean, you have to live in a house. You can pay your mortgage or you can pay someone else's, but you're going to be paying a mortgage.
And I think that's what comes up with, you know, the whole thing of people saying they're just gonna rent because, you know, prices are gonna drop, so they're just gonna wait, And the whole thing with the, you know, the rate rental amounts going up and how, if they really are given the numbers, like how Rusty was saying, it's about educating people. If they're really giving the numbers, only thing that makes sense is to buy, because you're paying almost the same thing when you look at the equity you're gonna have. And like having a lender just put that side by side for you so that you can share that with people. And just another thing you were saying about what to focus on. I know some agents have had really great success with like TikTok videos or reels online because people are looking for education. And those are the videos that are getting the most views because you're explaining why rent versus buy, how to sell, what to do in the shifting market. It's not something that I've fully tapped into, but I see that people are getting a lot of leads and contacts added to their database by doing that.
How many of you could have a discussion with a renter saying, let me tell you why you should be buying rather than renting? How many of you could have that conversation and you know what to say? Hold your hands up if you think you know what to say. Susan, what would you say?
Well, I mean, you can show them the math, the you know, what the same size house for rent and the same size house to purchase and the difference in the house payments. I just leased a home in Roswell, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths with a finished basement. We listed it for $3,700. Every single inquiry we got and turned into applications, they were willing to pay $4,000 a month. So, I mean, I had multiple offers on a red brick 2-story, and I thought I listed it too high at 3,700. So, I mean, the whole thing about the scarcity, the low inventory, it's true with rentals as well. So.
You can have that conversation, Susan.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I don't really care what interest rates are. I think it's better to own than to rent.
I like that. Who else could have a conversation about why it's better to rent or not? Who could have a conversation? Who else? You could, Eric. I'm glad to hear that. Who else? Anybody else? You could. You all could. That's great, guys. Next week, I'm gonna bring somebody in to help you with that conversation. Because we need to be having that conversation with people that are renting right now. Because I mean, I've got a partner. We have some rental houses, and we love our renters. We've raised our prices, and they keep paying them. So we love it. So I love renters. I love it because. But I like our buyers better. That's what pays the bills in my house. Is that which is cool. All right, guys. So having that conversation will be good. What else do we be focusing on? Daniel, what are you gonna focus on next year? That's good. Danielle, you and your husband have done several flips. Are you gonna focus on flips next year?
Well, we just bought a new house, so we're focused on renovating that.
Yes.
So, but we actually may buy a couple more rentals, so we're kind of, I don't wanna say not doing the flips, we're just pausing, but in general, to me, this just feels like 2019, this doesn't feel like the sky is falling, so I'm just, I still love to door knock, and so that's just I still plan on doing lead gen the old fashioned way. Everything else that everybody else is talking about, but just kind of more going back to basics, what I used to do a lot more of. So, just lead gen.
How's this too high to turn a roll punch right now? Why is that not true?
Well, the one that we have, there's just too many renters out there. There's just not enough houses to supply and demand. And then even when when the last rental that we bought, we put it on the market, and I was like, I don't know. Same conversation. I was like, this 2-bedroom townhouse, $1,750. Surely not. I mean, we had like 50 applications, and people were just randomly putting in applications without even seeing the property. Rented sight unseen. So when you see that, you're like, it's just a little.
So you and your husband are gonna focus on getting a couple more rental properties.
Right, we might pivot a little. We're not gonna stop flipping, but we're flipping our own house basically that we're gonna live in, and then plus maybe do more rentals. So, but I don't feel like the sky is falling. I think that hopefully it'll weed out the really bad agents, the ones that just kind of got lucky with the market, and the ones that were offering really low commissions to buy the business. Right, the ones that are like, oh, the house, I'll get multiple offers, I'll take your listing for whatever, 4.5%, and then they offer 2% to the buyer's agent. So I'm kind of hoping it weeds out.
That's cool. Karen, what are you gonna focus on?
I'm focusing on my people.
On your people? Cool. And you do anything differently next year than you did this year?
More intense.
Okay. I'll remind you again, I'll come back to you, Marjorie. What percentage of agents lead generate at least one time a month? Say it again? About 5% or less.
Once a month?
Once a month. 5% or less. And they are statistic, by the way. Aren't young. 95% of agents don't even have a plan. Now, it is called plan, where you plan your day. You don't show up at McDonald's and you happen to run into one of your neighbors and they want to sell the house. Planned event to lead generate. Less than 5%.
That's crazy.
No, it's crazy, guys. Amanda.
Yes.
So what are you gonna do differently next year? I don't leave anybody out, by the way, guys. Please hold your hand up because I want to hear from everybody.
I'm gonna ramp up my lead generation. Like I'm gonna be more intentional with it instead of just making a phone call, scrolling on Facebook, making a phone call, scrolling on TikTok, like it's gonna be like dedicated time where it's like you crank out the calls and then you call people back,
Okay.
My Legion's on that 411.
Say it again.
My Legion is on my 411. I do 411 still. I have it on my 411. The number. So I Legion is like 3 days a week. But when I was in corporate sales, you're talking about Legion, you had to go in the morning. So the first thing you did when you went in was Legion, usually 8 to 10 every day, 5 days a week. So, and then you started following up with your phone calls with everything that had to happen. So Legion was the first priority in sales, and then you did everything else afterwards. So you kind of have to think like you would if you were in corporate sales, and that was 100% commission business also. So if you're not doing that, right? Like that is your.
That's your job.
That is the ticket business. You need a lead gen, so you have to keep doing it.
Marjorie, I forgot to come back to you.
I just thought it, something that, you're saying like where to put your focus on. So I thought about like how numbers are, they're talking about numbers and prices going down, and whether they are, they're not. One thing that had gotten really good traction, which I haven't really done much with again, but maybe it could help somebody,
but we plan on doing the next year is online. There's a whole investor seminar based on the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, right? And all the slides and everything is all there. And so one time what we did is we just decided we're gonna do an investor seminar. And we did an ad on command, and we did some social media marketing and had like, I don't even know, maybe 30-something people sign up. We had a really good turnout. And gave the book away to some people, but just educating people, because a lot of them want to know. There's so many people that want to invest and they want to know, but whether you're wanting to get into investing or not, it teaches you something new to have conversations about. And those people have personal homes that they need to buy and sell, and family members as well. So just different things, you know, if you're good at numbers and you want to learn about investing, which is why I did it, I just wanted to teach it so I could learn more about it.
Cool. Liz, anything different with you?
I'm just gonna focus on my database as well and do more face-to-face mini events. Those seem to go well for me, so.
How many of you in your database with a smart plan, so you hit at least that 1.25, I think it's GCI, how many of you in there? 201. And that's statistic from Kellums International, so the agents that have got 201 leads, not leads, 201 people in their database and have one smart plan, they average about $120-some thousand in, I think, GCI, which is pretty cool, okay?
Those are of Mets.
Pardon me?
Those are of Mets.
Exactly. You want to tell us the difference?
The Mets and the have not Mets yet.
What's the difference?
And I call them yets.
Yes. Yeah.
The Mets are people that if you picked up the phone and called them and, you know, I said, hello, Jim, it's Paige.
No, all you do is say, hello, Jim, and I go, hey, Paige.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
mean, that's a Met. That's somebody that knows you either socially or through business, and hopefully that is a client of yours. And we've stopped using the word past client, but a client of yours. And then the have not Mets are the people in your farm area that have not seen you at their door yet.
Yep.
They are the people on your children's baseball team that you have not had a meaningful real estate conversation with yet. And so they are the yets in your life.
Yet to met.
Don't y'all love that word,
Right.
yes?
Yeah.
Yet.
Getting from yet to met.
Eric, you want to say something?
Definitely,
By the way,
continue.
I saw his little boy yesterday. He's almost as cute as my grandson. Very cute.
Thank you, yes, they are,
Very
they're
cute.
handsome young guys. So definitely continue focus on my people and also the data. I mean, I agree with all the comments about educating our people. I need to be educated more with the data, what's going on, because our people are not only need to hear from us in general, but they need to hear from us educated people. And so I'm definitely focusing more. I'm blocking on my calendar every time we get the MMO reports to really dive in to those sheets to make sure I'm fully educated, that I can have a better conversation with them. Handling objections and, concerns about the market. And I'll just say this, everything we've been talking about, there's no difference. I mean, the trend is, it's always focused on listings and people and lead generation, right? Nothing changes. That's the theme that I've been hearing this whole morning, right? It doesn't matter what market we're in. And that everybody's clear. It's just getting that negativity out of your mind and just keep doing your job.
Maylina, what about you? What are you going to focus on next year?
I would say everything that you guys said. Well, I will be focusing, I had a lot of rentals, a lot of my investors who bought properties prior, they rented them out this year. So I listed a lot of those rentals. I have a lot of rental leads. The conversation is to have with the renters, the tenants, to turn them into buyers and new clients. And I actually did a short open house on my rental listing in Atlantic Station. I had 3 couples come by and 2 of them are very interested because you know, I show them what 2,700 can get them, not far from where they are, even if it was for the next 2 years, you know, why not? And there was an article that one of my clients sent to me that said, you know, people who will be struggling in the next year or so are people who are renters, because how much the rentals went up. So also tell your clients, you know, or people who are renting, or if you want to go door knock apartments, but be careful, get in trouble. Just tell them, you know, what the future rental could look at them and what it could get them. So that's kind of, and I love working with buyers. And for me personally, yes, listing. I have 3 listings right now, and they're not moving, right? And it's hard to have I mean, it's not hard. It's a hard conversation with the seller, but some of them are very stubborn. I feel like buyers, if you can get them turn them into buyers right now and show them the potential, show them the value of what they're getting now. You know, not everybody, I mean, buyers are also good clients, you know, listings, yes, listings are leverage, and listings can bring you buyers, but the harder conversations are with those buyers right now, you know, so buyers and tenants for me, and I love buyers, because they will, and I'm still new in the business, so I know that my buyers will eventually become sellers, right? And focus on them and see how much influence you have, because every buyer, everybody who you come in contact with can influence their sphere to turn to you.
All right, so I'm gonna give y'all a chance. So let's assume that, you know, I'm Mr. Optimistic, I've always been, that's just my personality. Let's assume next year comes. What is the thing that could happen that can make our economy, our housing market go into a nosedive? So somebody give me what could be a worst case scenario? I mean, I have one in mind, but give me what could be the worst case scenario.
Like an international event.
War.
Say it again?
Like an international event that would
Because
impact.
Russia says they may use what? They do that. Now, Jim
It's the
says
fear.
Russia knows that we have those major things also, so they send us what they do to them. And so they know that. Now, will a madman do that? But that's a possibility. What else may happen?
China, we're still having problems with supply coming out of China and things being closed with all the COVID restrictions. So if that doesn't change, prices keep coming up, we don't have supply, we can't control that much.
So China could be a big part of that, and I agree with you on that. And the market went down 500 points yesterday because of what?
Railway.
No, China.
No, China, but today it's the railway.
Yeah.
Okay, what else can happen next year? Scott, what can happen next year that would make our business go down? Anything in mind?
I think 6 months ago, we sat in this room and we said to ourselves, where's the market? All of us were so happy, right? And previously, a sign out, and within 3 days, it's 20 changes. It's in the contract for multiple offers. How do we know 6 months from now, we're not, you know, where we wanted to be, where we were 6 months ago? But back to your question in regards to what could change, you're right, you know, something in regards to a major catastrophe outside of the country, or even internally, something internally too.
And that's very true. Who was here during 9/11? Who remembers 9/11 really well? How did that affect our economy?
It did affect our economy drastically on a short period of time. We had to stop closings. There were no, Federal Express was not flying. We couldn't get checks. That's when they Federal Express checks to closing. This is anybody in here. But you know, there were lots of things that happened. But I think that, you know, we talked about something in some mastermind that you and I were in, and we said, you know, it could turn absolutely fabulous again. It could go back to where we were a year ago. I pray to God that it doesn't.
Right. All right, so I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna come back to that, okay?
Okay.
Because I want to talk about that, okay? All right, I'm sorry, you have something to say, Carol.
I think there's gonna be some pressure on food.
On food, okay?
Yeah, because I'm looking at, like, the Netherlands just closed 3,000 farms, you know, because of the whole trying to keep up with this whole emissions, CO2, whatever stuff is going on. So they're, when you start doing that type of stuff, it doesn't just impact there, it impacts everywhere. Because that food's gotta come from somewhere.
And so, guys, you ever hear the only thing that I think logically could happen, that would hurt our economy on short term? What do you think? What could hurt our economy and how about on the short term? Give a number one thing?
In the short term?
Yeah.
Politics.
Okay, all right, I agree on that. Follow through, you know, okay?
Yeah, we're heading into a political timeframe, you know, presidential and stuff like that, but yeah. You know what, though,
Does that stop real estate?
it doesn't stop people from needing to put their head in bed.
About tech layoffs.
Say
A lot
again?
of tech layoffs.
Okay, all right. A lot of tech layoffs, I give you in that, did we have too many anyway? Number one thing, from Jim's perspective, if rates go to 9%. What do y'all think about that?
Well, it's happened before.
It's happened before, okay,
So
exactly right,
it's
okay.
not new.
But could that affect us in the short term?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
but it won't stay,
Well, what?
won't stay there.
It might. Yeah. It might go to 11.
Could.
I mean, we're all just like
Spoiled.
playing, whack-a-mole. You know, it might be this, and it might be that, it might be that, it might do nothing. And it could go to 11%, and people are still gonna have houses. And if it goes to 11%, you know, I mean, we look at everything in that we're talking about, it all revolves around the jobs number.
No, that's what.
So, I mean, if people are making more money, then they can pay 9%. And if they can pay it, they will. It's like if you build it, they will come. If they qualify for it, they're gonna buy it. They're gonna put their kids in the best schools they can.
They're gonna pay for it one way or another. I mean,
Right.
they're paying for it.
Yes,
You have
they're
to
in-
have a place to
you
live, and
live.
you're gonna pay for it. So it's whether or not you're gonna invest in yourself and gain equity, or you're gonna invest in someone else and give them equity.
That's right.
And guys, I mean, being around long, I've been around, I have a few friends in the real estate market and in the finance market out there. Do you have many are telling me that it's go to 8%?
It
Are they a lot?
That it will?
Zero, no.
Oh, not.
Not one of
I'm
them
hearing
said
it's
they go to
1.5%.
8%. Mike Parrish, guys, this is one of my new best friends right here. Mike's in the commercial real estate. He's looking at us today. Should he come here, guys? What do y'all think? Should he join this office? Mike, tell them just a little about you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for letting me be here. am looking back into real estate. I've had to take a short sabbatical for a couple of months, but I've been with Keller Williams more or less since 18. I was licensed in 12, but I've been connected to the Atlanta. I was connected to the Atlanta Midtown team, and we're throwing stuff around here. There you go. And Jim and I met when I first looked at Keller Williams a number of years ago, and I live in East Cobb, and I think it makes a whole lot more sense to be connected to an East Cobb office than a downtown office.
I think the same thing. So Mike,
Yes, thank you.
Mike, welcome. Mike, commercial side, how do you see 2023?
I think there'll be a lot of opportunities from an investment perspective. I've stepped out, like I said, I've stepped out for personal reasons for a couple of months, but I continue to read headlines. I agree with you. I think our economy is in this room. It's not nationally. What I was seeing, and I think it still prevails out there, is prices have gotten extremely high. Building owners think that their building should still be a 5.5% cap when the market is correcting and when interest rates are 6.5%, 7% on a commercial loan. Those buyers can't pay those same prices. So I think what I've always seen in commercial since I got in, and I've only been in it since 12, is commercial follows residential. So as prices start to come back to normal, even though we might have a rise in interest rates, commercial tends to follow. So I think in 23, what's going to happen in China today? What's going to happen? Can India pick up production for Apple? Who knows? But I think there could be buying opportunities. I was in commercial banking in 08 and 09, and I look back going, there were a lot of opportunities to pick up investment properties that were really good deals. those properties were 8 or 9% cap, and they're probably 6.5, 7% cap now. They're great investments. So I think there'll be lots of opportunities investment wise in 23.
Guys, and what is still historically low on our economy? The unemployment. Still what? Historically low. Now, I heard that Google laid off 10,000 people, is that right? Is it Google? Did they lay off 10,000 people?
They all laid off.
Did they have too many people anyway?
Yep.
Do we have any workers?
Yep.
How many of you go to a restaurant and they can't seat you because they don't have enough service at the restaurant? No, you go to a restaurant and I was at a very expensive restaurant because I had a gift certificate for it a few weeks ago, very expensive. And we left at 9:30 and there was a line out the door to get in.
Yeah, but somebody that was working in tech is not gonna go be a server at a restaurant if they can help it.
And I'm not saying that, that's not what I'm saying, I'm just saying that there are job opportunities out there in other areas.
Yeah.
Would y'all agree with that?
Yes.
You know, some opportunities out there? Rusty, you got something?
No, I'd say the reverse side of that is whoever goes to a restaurant where you don't have to wait because everybody's there to eat. You know, I mean, if people are spending money still on vacations, they're still spending money on restaurants.
Yes.
My biggest concerns was black swan events that just aren't anticipated. Like this
Say that
restaurant,
again, your biggest
black swan events, that's what COVID was, that's what, nobody could have anticipated that happening. That's what I think, if anything's gonna bring us down, would be a black swan event. You know, you're talking about politics, but what's worrying me right now a little bit is the rails. You know, if they go on strike, that's $1 billion a day. So you hope smarter brains prevail. What we've seen in the past, that's not necessarily been the case. And if those rails shut
Will that be the first strike that the railroads have ever had?
No.
Was that the first strike the railroads ever had? Nope. No. Did we survive the other ones?
I'm not saying we won't survive.
Oh, got you.
I'm saying it will be a major
Probably
impact.
bad time. Okay, let's go back to Paige's comment. We're gonna finish it pretty quickly, guys. So Paige, you are doing what you do well, and that's like, but think of the positive. What do you think may happen next year that will make us into an even better market? That's what a couple people said. What do you think will happen next year?
We could get COVID again.
Yeah.
Okay, we could get Smovid. We could get the newest illness coming down, the pike. We could have millions of people dying every single day so that we could sell more real estate. Well, that sucks. Okay, so we have to think about the fact that, and I like what Rusty said, you know, it's another, it could be another black swan, but God forbid that it is. And that we get more to a, you know, I'm a country girl, y'all know that, right? It's like driving your Jeep down a dirt road. And you go to the right just a little bit because there's a rut, and then all of a sudden you're in the ditch. So what do? You grab that steering wheel and you yank it like that, and where are you? In another ditch. So we've got to get the Jeep going down the dirt road in a straight line without the ruts. That's what we have to do. And we can do that if we stay in touch with our people who have to live in houses. If we stay in touch with people who have to get divorces. I love divorces in dead people. I mean, I absolutely love dead people. I went through our Christmas card list and marked 8 people off. Okay, they were dead, but I sold their houses for their children because I had stayed in touch with them. So I love dead people. But I don't want people to have to die so that I have a good income.
Guys, 2008, 2012, which one was a supposedly better market?
12.
Okay. Guess which one we sold more units in?
8.
2008. What is that? What do you like that?
We had a crap load of foreclosures back then too. Builders were walking away from construction lots, and it was a great time to invest.
So Jerry Keller says there are no bad markets, there's just bad agents who don't ship their things. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to kind of make a counterpoint to what Rusty said with a black swan event. 2 years ago, we had a black swan event. Our market didn't crash.
It did not what?
It didn't crash.
What
It got
did it
better.
do?
It got better, so even in the event of another RSV or Black Plague coming through, we already have proof that the real estate market is not one that's gonna crash as a result, because it shifted how people did business. It shifted how people needed to live, and as a result, our market shifted with it. And so if 1 million people die, that's 1.5 million of them had homes, that's 500,000 homes that we get to list. And those buyers get to take advantage of whatever the market is of the day. So I don't foresee that, for my plan for next year, I know how many numbers I need to sell. And so I'm going down the list and finding those people. And being prepared to keep in contact with those people until they're ready to sell.
You can regenerate.
That's all it is.
I come back from market. I was in North a couple of 4 weeks ago, and one of my grandsons gets very sick. I cannot get to the doctor. She called the doctor and said, "What should I do?" She said, "Well, we don't really care whether they've got the flu, COVID, this leak on the
RSV.
We don't care what they got, unless they're really, really sick, treat the symptom." What? Treat the symptom. And guys, doctors' office around many areas, I'm sitting there saying, just treat the symptom. There it is. Just get back to getting back to just treat the symptom. Isn't that wonderful? Just treat the symptom. Now, that's what all doctors do. I didn't notice that question. I don't know if you think I'm saying that, but guys, we're moving forward. Okay. All right. Who have I not asked yet that wants to say something about this market? Yes, ma'am.
What's my opinion?
Yeah, sure thing.
Well, I come from Ukraine, so I've seen a lot of
Where we thought Lower Alabama.
So I lived through 91 when the Soviet Union collapsed, and I've seen what happened to the market, real estate market. Prices just went crazy up, interest rates were 20%, and people were still buying for 20 years.
Say that one more time, because that's huge. Say it one more time. Come from the crane of what?
The market collapsed, so people lost all of their money, right, in 91. Then interest rates, the banks who opened up and started providing credit, their interest rate was 20%. 30% sometimes, right, to buy. So my sister bought an apartment, I think her interest rate was 23%. Right, 50,000, so she paid probably 300,000 a year. People still buy apartments, still buy houses.
Still buy houses.
They still buy houses.
That's the whole point.
They still buy houses right now during the war. Because people move from the war zones to other areas and they still have to live somewhere. So things, people adjust very fast. Within half a year, any COVID shock, any black swan shock, people adjust.
Guys, how many of you are happy that gas is only $3.25 right now? I'm happy because that means rather than spending $75 to fill up my SUV, for just me, I'm only spending $55. So and guys, when interest rates come down to, and I think they will, to 6%, 5%, it's going to be wonderful. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I still have quite a few first-time buyers, a couple that are really afraid to buy. I've sent them to the rent-to-own program, so they can see the house they want, pay the rent, and then purchase it when they're ready.
I love that.
I just want to make a comment on your gas scenario. Did you drive less when it was $5? You just paid what you had to pay because you had to get what you had to get. It broke every time I went to the gas pump, but I still had to fill it up.
Go out there that say, do I feed my children or do I put my car with gas? Because to feed myself, so it bring my heart to them. And Thanksgiving, how much more was Thanksgiving this year?
Oh my goodness.
So much more. So I won't put price to come on. So I want to leave y'all with next year, someone's still going to have a really, really, really good year. Someone will be out of business because they're not really do what? Legion. Margie, I can come back to you.
No, I was along the lines of what you're saying. You know, what I heard on the pivot shift call one day, which was such a great mindset shift, is, you know, the NAR says we're having a biggest drop in units ever, right? From 6 to 4 million or something like that. And then one thing that he said that made so much sense was, unless your goal is to sell 4 million homes, how does this affect you? What are your units?
He's very broad.
What are your units? And if your units fits into 4 million, then what is the problem?
Wow. The whole price of admission, everything I said was just made better. Drop the mic. Just drop the mic, guys. Guys, by the way, look around here right now. Do you know where most real estate offices are right now? What's going on the team meeting day? Dead. I don't do dead.
I don't do Paige does.
So if you want your business to be better next year, you have to find at least maybe one more source of activities for lead generation. And Rob, what are those?
So there's plenty of sources. You guys heard me telling you. And the main source is your telephone and your database and a farm. But we have to get back to the one thing. I think it's great that Danielle said, you know what? I'm going back to the basics. And here's a successful person, owns real estate, doing everything. And did you all hear what she said she was going to do? Duh. You know, I mean, does everybody in here want to door knock? No, right? So you got to pick your lane. So on that, I'm starting a book club starting next year. Well, we're going to start here in about a week. You can come in on Zoom or Facebook Live or whatever. And first book we're going to do is the one thing. Okay, just the one thing. And so we say it all the time. If you just, we said it in this room 10 times today. If you do one thing, and it's your lead generation or whatever, but in that, all those pillars of lead generation, what's your one? And just dominate it, whether that's every day for 2 hours or 3 days a week, right? And doing your 2 hours, whatever. So I would encourage all of you, but more importantly, encourage other agents outside of Keller Williams to participate in this, because this is an opportunity for us really to reach out to the marketplace here in East Cobb and around for other agents to see what we do here and why it's so great. If you have personal relationships with business owners, right? Your plumber, right? Or your chiropractor, your dentist, right? They're all small business people. They don't have a community like we have. So encourage them. So your database and everything, encourage them to get into this thing. It'll be a book club. We'll do it. I haven't picked a date yet, but we're going to kick it off. And so it's be an opportunity for you to give back to your database as another touch, right? So any questions or thoughts about that?
Cool. When does it start?
We're going to start at Paige's house on Tuesday morning at 7:30. And she is going to be making a beautiful breakfast.
Biscuits.
Yeah,
And
biscuits
gravy.
and casserole. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna get something out to you guys. We're
And
gonna
I would
start-
love to host it at my house for good breakfast.
Hey.
You can live that shit.
Huh?
But it will be
What? Yeah, so here's the one thing, on the one thing. We're gonna do it like 7:30 in the morning, right? Because you could be, no, Paige, it's okay.
Right.
You could be in your jammies and you can just click on, right, you have a quick camera on.
Treadmill.
And just listen and participate. So, because here's the deal, by the time we get to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we want to start our days. So it's not gonna be this huge thing, it'll be like 30 minutes, but it's a good kickoff to your day. And it can be probably 1 day a week, right? And we'll see how many books we can do. And whoever shows up the most, we're gonna keep a count and you get to take the next book. So we're using a Gary Keller book to start, but it does not have to be. This isn't a Keller Williams thing. This is a life thing for all of us, and to bring it to others. Give, and then you'll receive. So that was my idea.
And don't forget to see Billy to pick a student to adopt. We need 19 of them taken care of. Please help.
If you do that one thing of lead generation, we'll do well. Sure. How many calls is well?
I love what we did about 6 or 7 years ago when we started sourcing the source of the source and digging deeper and deeper into where did this person come from, and if it was, then where did that person come from and where did that person come from? And it really told me a lot about our business, and we will continue to do that. And this year, starting January 1st, we have all set goals of not just lead generation. What is the lead generation? Is it, and like
It's a
sourcing,
silo, yeah.
sourcing the source of the lead generation? Is it door knocking? Is it events? Is it phone calling? Is it,
Open house.
what is your rock? What is your nugget that you do best? Because what you do best, you're gonna do more often. And then tie it to the source of the source of the source. What do you do? What activity do you do that's called lead generation that brought you money?
So it
Not
sounds
just
like you're
made you
going,
feel
so
good.
you're gonna get all the funeral home owners and all the divorce attorneys and boom. So those would be, think about that.
That's my lead generation. I don't have to door knock.
Thanks, Karen.
As a follow-up to what Paige said, what we're doing is we're gonna go back and look at our 2022, look at our 5 best clients for 2022. Okay, see what traits and characteristics they have that are similar. For example, for me, of my top 5, most of them are higher level execs who don't have time to go shop around for houses. So they're having their
They pay for the service.
They're having their wives actually checking off to see if this is a good house or not. People that make decisions very quickly because they don't have the time to look at 25 houses. See where that business comes from, and then just work on people of that type of home, because you know that those are a lot of ways.
Guys, so is there any doubt that if we went out there and he's got 5 listings, will that change your business for next year?
Yeah.
Oh, so we do this, guys. Which office for Keller Williams do you think has listed the most houses units this year? Us. Great, all right. Are we the biggest office? No, of course. But we still listed the most what? No reason why. Because that's, because we list houses to stay in cities. Yes, thank you, thanks for coming in today. Don't forget about next week, we're gonna do this wonderful white elephant thing, do that. Anything else that we can talk about? Anybody didn't get a chance to speak? Because I want everybody to speak that wants to speak. Anybody didn't get a chance to speak and share their ideas? Anybody at all?
I actually got something.
What is that? What is that?
For those of you who remember that we helped with beds and we bought beds for the kids for Bread Day last year, that they're always interested in having our help if we ever want to go out and help them deliver and assemble the beds for these children's houses, which is an amazing experience. So she's gonna send out an email with some available weekends if anybody wants to join them.
I love it. Thank you. You're dismissed. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, you should bring it over. Here's your thing. Put that way. I'll go over your emails.
There you go.